How to get your car ready for winter. Winter is going to bring cold temperatures, wet roads, unpredictable driving conditions, and no matter where you live, those changes can take serious toll on your vehicle. Preparing your car before season begins isn't just smart, it's essential for your safety, comfort, and long-term reliability. So when we dig into it, you know, the more that you're going to the more we understand about the car, the more we understand about how weather conditions affect your car, the heat, the cold, the wet. Especially if you're in an area where they're going to put salt on the road during winter. I mean, there's just so many variables, having to do with the different weather conditions. It's not even funny. Heat kills cars. Understand that simple truism. Heat kills cars. The cold brings it out. So cold hurts cars too, but heat kills cars. Um, and winter preparation is totally essential. You need to, you need to start easily on cold mornings, maintain traction and stability on slick roads, prevent costly breakdowns or repairs, protect your car's exterior and interior from moisture and corrosion, keep your family safe during rain, snow, or freezing conditions. We need to, get your vehicle scheduled for a pre-winter vehicle inspection. Yeah, I get it. When I'm making this video, it's October, the beginning of October. And most parts of the country have gotten used to winter taking a little bit longer to start taking root, but not every winter. And if you understand how unpredictable the weather is when we're not prepared, why not be prepared? Why not schedule a pre-winter vehicle inspection way before winter in the fall? Schedule your summer in the spring, schedule your winter in the fall. Beat the rush, the first cold snap, every automotive repair shop's going to be busy because heat kills and the cold brings it out, and all alternators, starters, batteries, all kinds of stuff is going to be not ready for that first cold snap. So you definitely need a battery and charging system test. You need your tire tread and pressure check, brake and suspension evaluation, fluid level and quality inspection, heating, defrosting, and wiper system test, lighting and visibility system review. One of my daughters got into an accident and it ruined the front. So they replaced one headlight, and it's on a newer vehicle, obviously, but not that new. And she could tell the difference driving down the road between how bright one side was versus the other side was. So she needed to get the other side headlight, the film, the residue stripped off of it and back to where, both sides looked the same, not just visually, but the light coming out of the fixtures, are the same. But we definitely need to pay really close attention to your battery. And the battery needs to be tested for voltage and cold cranking. If it's weak, it needs to be replaced. If it's more than 3 years old, it definitely needs to be replaced. We need to clean the corrosion from the terminals, but that needs to be done yearly. And then check the alternator, ensure it's charging, properly. Your tread depth needs to be at least 4 30-seconds. The tire manufacturers say it's good till 2. Why in the world would you ever want to run your tread depth down to 2 30-seconds, especially in the winter? I don't do it ever. I get down to 5 or 6 30-seconds, and I'm like, okay, the tire's done. I like to know that when I turn, my car goes where I want it to go. When I want to stop, my car goes where I want it to stop. I'm not one to try and get the last good out of my brakes or my tires or my wiper blades or my air filters or cabin air filters. I'm not one that's going to get the last good out of anything, because when do you go from the last good into bad? The very last part of good, the next step is bad. And if you understand that simple truism, then let's not try and get the last good. Me and my lovely lady, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go get the tires replaced, and she's like, oh, they're still good, and she brings me out and actually shows me that our tires are still good, and I'm like, okay. And we live in Arizona. It doesn't rain a whole lot in Arizona, but it's definitely got a lot of heat. And then monsoon comes around, like 6 weeks out of the year, and we have wet. And we're driving down the road, and there's as an emergency stopping situation, and I hit the brakes, and the anti-lock brake system is working. The brakes are working. The tires are working because the shocks and struts have been replaced, making the tires stay in contact with the ground, and we stop quickly. And then I'm looking in the rear view mirror, and we actually have to then have enough room that I can actually hit the gas and pull over to the side, and the person behind me is now in the middle of what we weren't in the middle of anymore. And now, and of course, I'm maneuvering to where the all the people behind me are missing me, and because my vehicle was ready to go, and I was ready to go. Tires, brakes, shocks and stress to keep the tires in contact with the ground. All of these things are critical to avoid getting into any weirdness on the road. The only time that this stuff is important is when it's important. And then inspecting your and replacing all of your fluids, the engine oil, your coolant slash it's coolant in the summer and antifreeze in the winter. It's the same stuff, but it's coolant in the summer and antifreeze in the winter. I think that everything should have a different name for the season, don't you think? I mean, you talk about, why can't it just be one thing? If it's the same product, why can't it just be one name? And then, of course, we got brake fluid, transmission fluid, power steering fluid, differential fluid, transfer case fluid, windshield washer fluid, power steering fluid. And the funny part is most people think that they think that maintaining their car is just changing the oil. Mm-mm. Maintaining the car is not just changing the oil. Why change the oil if you're not going to change the coolant, the brake fluid, the antifreeze, excuse me, coolant slash antifreeze, the brake fluid, the transmission fluid, the power steering fluid, the windshield washer fluid, the transfer case fluid, the differential fluid. Why not? Why not actually replace everything? Because changing the oil is just maintaining one small piece of your vehicle. You know, and make sure that your brakes are ready to go. Make sure that your tires in contact with the ground by replacing the shocks and the struts on a regular basis. And the wheel alignment definitely needs to be done at least once a year of 15K, and some of the roads needs to be done even more often than that. And then, of course, the wiper blades and top off the washer fluid beyond a shadow of a doubt. And then most people don't even understand that when you turn on your heater, then it's the heat, and that's the coolant going through your heater core and the fan blowing the air through the heater core. But when you turn on defroster, your defroster actually turns on the AC as well, because you need to dry out the air before it hits your windshield. So an AC actually dries out the air. Most people don't seem to know that. If you ever get your house gets flooded, then you turn your AC on to help, get rid of the water that's in your house. I mean, the air conditioner definitely helps remove moisture beyond a shadow of a doubt. So you're not just checking your heater, you're actually checking your air conditioning system as well. And making sure that the vents are all working and on and on and on and on, and make sure that you've definitely got a clean cabin air filter, because that definitely is going to affect your air circulation and smells and all of the other stuff. You might want to really think about. Most people don't realize that when your defroster is turning the AC on, then you're definitely have condensation that's happening in the evaporative core that's inside of the dash, and mold and all of the other stuff can grow in there. So get all of that checked out as well. And then make sure all of your lights are clean and functioning. The cloudy or yellow lenses have got to definitely be taken care of. If you've got fog lights, make sure they're operational. And then, of course, definitely need to protect your vehicle from salt and moisture and dirt during the winter, like there's no tomorrow. Um, and just, make sure your cabin air filter, engine air filter is ready to go. Your exhaust is functioning properly. Lubricate the doors, the locks, the hinges. Spraying silicone lubricant on the door seals, applying a graphite lubricant to the locks, using grease or oil on hinges and latches. Just tell your automotive repair store to do that for you. Some may charge you, but it's definitely worth the cost. I can guarantee that. And then make sure that you've got a kit inside of your car, blanket or warm clothing, jumper cables or jump starter, flashlight with batteries, first aid kit, tire inflator or sealant, or both, ice scraper, snow brush, bottled water, snacks, traction aids, sand, or kitty litter. And then drive smart, stay alert. You should drive smart and stay alert no matter what you do. But there's you definitely need to slow down and increase the following distances. Avoid sudden braking or acceleration. Use your headlights in fog, rain, or snow. I use my headlights all the time. Never use cruise control on slippery roads. And, keep your gas tank at least half full to prevent freezing. But, I prefer full because you just never know. I mean, it's one thing to be stuck. It's a whole other thing to be stuck without an engine that won't run because you're out of gas. So just, take care of yourself, take care of the passengers, take care of the people around you, take care of the situation and the circumstance. Just be aware of what's going on. Whatever you do, stay safe, stay strong.